What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, it's David Heretic and Mrs. Heretic coming at you with what we know you've all been waiting for. You've been very patient and we really thank you for that. But Mrs. Heretic finally has some time to film, so we're here to do our review of the Warning concerts. We're going to be reviewing both concerts because there were some differences in those two concerts, weren't there?
Slight differences.
Slight differences. You know, there were a couple of songs that they played on Monday that they did not play on Tuesday, and vice versa. So,
and special guest stars that came in the second night that weren't there on the first night.
And we will talk about that. Now, let's talk about the show. We didn't do dinner. We kept it simple. We said we're just gonna eat at home and then we're gonna go to the show since it's fairly close. It's not too far. Got to the show, got there early, got to meet a whole bunch of you, which was awesome. We really enjoyed meeting each and every one of you. You guys were so cool to hang with. You guys were very gracious. You took pictures with us, shook our hands, we gave hugs. It was fun. We had a great time with that. I'll be honest with you. It's gonna sound cheesy. I mean absolutely no disrespect to the girls whatsoever, okay? I mean no disrespect to any of the three girls when I say this. That was honestly the highlight of my night.
That's the truth.
I'm sorry. I know Warning fans can be like, what about the concert? Listen, the concert was wonderful, okay? I promise we're gonna talk about it, but the highlight of the night for me personally was meeting all of you. I had so much fun with that.
Dave liked feeling like a celebrity.
It's not about feeling like a celebrity. No, that's not it. It's about meeting the people who make this channel what it is. It was about getting out there and actually putting faces to names and meeting people and engaging with them and engaging with you guys. That was what made my night special, honestly. Don't get me wrong, concert was wonderful, okay? But meeting you guys was awesome. That was the absolute highlight for me.
Oh, don't grovel. One thing I can't stand is people groveling.
Now, we got inside. Yes.
Yeah.
It's changed. Last time I was at the Troubadour was in 1993, if I'm not mistaken. This was right before they did their big renovation, and I think they did the renovation in 2006, where they added the upstairs VIP areas and stuff like that. That was not there. That did not used to be there. Those big retaining walls did not used to be there. So
you just aged yourself, seriously.
I know I did, but I was in high school when I played there, so it's, you know, a little different. Anyway,
I was a baby, I wasn't.
Yeah, I know. Fine. Anyway, so we got inside, we went and sat at the bar, and we sat there the whole night. Well, you sat, I stood. There was only one stool available left, and you know me, I'm gonna be a gentleman. I'm gonna let my wife have the stool, so she doesn't have to stand all night. And the first band came out. Oh boy. Devora. Listen, I am usually very supportive of opening acts. I am, okay? But I was seriously turned off by Devora for two reasons. One, well, actually there's three reasons. I didn't think I was going to talk about the third, but I might as well talk about the third. I might as well. Okay, so the first reason. Now, this wasn't necessarily Devora's fault. This was the Troubadour's fault. Man, they had the backing track for Devora turned up way too high. I don't know about you, but...
Oh, God, my ears were ringing. Oh.
There were times where you could not hear anything other than the backing track. It buried it buried the vocals, it buried the guitar.
And then it started to screech.
Oh yeah, that's right, the feedback, that was wonderful. And then it even at times, there were a number of times where it even buried the drums. Like the only thing you could hear from the drums was the snare. And you barely. I mean, the backing track was just way too loud. Now I will say on Tuesday night, it was a little bit better, but not by much. And I kept trying to signal the guys on stage, the lead vocals and the guitar players, I kept trying to signal them like, can't hear you. Turn yourselves up. And they never saw me, I guess. that was my first complaint about that opening act. Second complaint about the opening act is, rather than get a bass player, they had bass track. That was the backing track, was their bass, along with backing vocals and piano and everything else that was in there. But they had no bass player, and I don't understand that. I mean, how hard would it be to find a bass player? Hello, hi. You know, I would do it if the money was right. I would do it. You know, but I mean, there was no bass player. It was all done through track, and that was a bit of concern for me, because out of all the things you're gonna track, bass, really the most resonating instrument in the entire band, you're gonna track bass. Oof, it was rough.
So,
it was rough.
For me, it was hard to give any feed on Devora, because all I heard the entire show where I was at was, it was bass, and I felt it.
Oh God, did we ever? It was rough. It was rough. It was really rough. Third reason I didn't like them, and I know this is probably me nitpicking or, you know, being sensitive or whatever, but I gotta say this, and I may come off as a little bit of a douche when I say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway, and if people want to call me a douche, they can call me a douche. Devora is not that big, okay? They're not that popular. They're not that much of a recognized act that they require security. And yet the lead vocalist had security. 2 security guards who really have no personal skills or people skills whatsoever. They know how to push and shove. So I was upstairs meeting with some fans, and that was really cool. I got a chance to meet a very special young lady. I won't say what made her special, but you know, she knows. I'm sure she's watching. She knows who she is. And then we proceeded to start to go downstairs, and we're stopped by security. You know, you can't go yet. The main act is going through. And we're like, the main act? You mean the opening act? But boy, man, they let it be known that no, we're not allowed to go anywhere near her. And I'm just like, wow, well, good luck getting big the way you're acting. You know, that's just not going to work. Guys, you are, when you're in a band, and if you're going to take those kind of measures of having security guards and you're not an established act, number one, that's overkill. Number 2, you're compensating. Number 3, if you're gonna hire security, make sure that they are a good reflection upon you. Because Devora, your security was garbage. Absolute freaking garbage when it came to people skills. And that is a direct reflection upon you. So, you know, I'm sorry, but I was really turned off by that. I was seriously put off by that, and I didn't appreciate it. I didn't appreciate being treated the way that I was being treated, like, you know, we were criminals. And I'm like, whoa. Unacceptable! You're not that big, girl. Sorry. You know, try to burst your bubble.
I never heard of her before this act.
I hadn't heard of them either. I was like, I don't even know. I don't even know if it's a them or a her. I don't even know. I mean, she seemed to be the star attraction of their little act. I mean, and the guitar player got no recognition, neither did the drummer. It seemed like all eyes were supposed to be on her. I'm like, well, not the best way to start off your career. You know what I mean? So anyway, the opening act was over, thank God, fairly quickly. We didn't have to suffer through that for too long.
I think like 5 songs.
It was more than that. I think it was 7, but it was painful. Anyway, so they ended, they got the stage, and then out comes the warning.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes.
Okay, here we go. Main event time. Now, both shows had a lot of similarities. We were there for both nights. So we're going to cover both nights in a weird way. We're going to talk about both concerts in the same context. So like the first song, for example, they did both nights. The first song they opened up was Z, which you and I have both done reactions to. We both have seen it before. What did you think of Z?
It was enjoyable, but like I said, there was still that. Unfortunately, the first night was worse than the second night with that darn feedback, because they even after Devora, the sound guys took like 45 minutes to get the next sound on stage, and they still did not fix any of their sound problems.
No, they did. The bass was fixed quite a bit because it wasn't tracked anymore. The bass was still pretty high in the mix. Now, I have no issue with that because I'm being a bass player. I want to hear bass. But from an overall blend, yeah, the bass was a little high for the overall mix. I will agree with that.
And it was hard to hear Ollie's backing vocals when she was singing.
Yeah, we
I
didn't
couldn't
hear
hear
Ollie
at
at all, really. Yeah, she was getting drowned out. Unless everybody stopped playing. Like there were a couple places where everybody laid out and she sang solo. Then we heard her. But if she was singing backing vocals with everybody else playing, you couldn't hear her worth a darn. It was kind of a shame. But hey, the show must go on. I thought Z is the show opener. I thought it was a good call. I thought it was a good move. It's a good song, good show opener, quick, energetic, to the point. I had no issue with it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I agree.
Okay. Track 2 was Animosity. Yeah, Animosity. Now, which again, we've both done reactions to. A good follow-up, a very good follow-up. Kept it going, kept the show going, which was good. The first night, I'm going to say this right now, and let me just get this out of the way. I don't know about you, but I feel like the first night, like the first half of their show, like the first 6 songs, I feel like they were...
First 5 up until they hit the 6 on the first show.
On the first show, I feel like they were stiff. I felt like they were maybe nervous.
The energy wasn't there.
Yeah, they look kind of nervous. They look kind of stiff. They felt like they were holding back. And I was like, what's going on? You know, because I've seen live footage of them, you know, before, and I was waiting for that energy to come out. And like I said, on the first night, on the Monday night show, the first 5 songs, I was like, where is it? So yeah, on Monday night, the third song they did was Ugh.
Yeah. Okay.
And have you done a reaction to that one? You have not. Okay, so you didn't really hear it either.
No, it was hard to hear.
Not clearly. Ugh was an interesting choice. I've done a reaction to that song. I thought Ugh was an interesting choice. Not one I would have normally, recommended. I would have recommended one of their bigger songs, but it worked. It definitely worked out well. It was a good fit. It was one of those. It's like pulling out a B-side and surprising the audience with it. It's like, whoa, we didn't expect that.
You kidding me?
So Ugh was an interesting choice. I dug it. Now
I like the fact that it was not a normal choice.
You like the fact that they threw the curveball?
Always like it when somebody throws a curveball.
Okay.
Because it keeps you on your toes. Like, sometimes when you go into shows and those websites that have like we're going to show you the set list, we kind of know what's going on, blah, 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 blah.
We're going to leak the set list.
It's kind of like, wait a minute, they didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that about the girls, that they do not, they did not have the same show both nights.
Right.
Yes, there were a lot of similarities and a lot of the same popular songs that you would expect, but the fact that they threw a couple curveballs here and there made it lively. Like, I was expecting, because it was 2 nights the same, I was expecting the same darn thing the second night.
Yeah.
Hoping they would fix the sound.
That's what most bands do.
Yeah.
They come up with a set list, and this is the same set list we're gonna play every single show of the tour.
So I was pleasantly surprised when it was different both nights. Pleasantly surprised.
It was nice to have those throw, and they did, and they threw more than one. There were a few curveballs they threw, and that was nice. Like Mrs. Heretic said, I was pleasantly surprised to see that as well. It got rid of the predictability. It got rid of the internet leakages. It's like you download the set list from the previous night, and then you go, well, this is the songs they're gonna play. Second night comes, well, you can toss that list right out the window because nope.
Nope.
So first night they did Ugh as their third song, but the second night they did Queen of the Murder Scene.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And I didn't do a reaction to that. That was a new one for me.
That was another new one for you, but again, sound quality, she couldn't really hear everything clearly, so I think you could still do a reaction to it, and I think you'd be okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Second night, Queen of the Murder Scene, that was, I was expecting that song to be played the first night too, but
nope.
Did they play it the first? No, they didn't play it the first night.
Mm-mm.
No, they did not. So that was a nice surprise to see it on the second night instead. So we were there both nights. So we got both, just different nights. The fourth song,
Choke. Yes.
Choke.
Choke was awesome.
You love that song.
This is when they started, like you said, the first 5 songs, they started to get a little bit of energy. Like they were.
I didn't see it.
I felt they were a little less stiff. Not. They were still stiffer than like watching things like when I watched Z from when I did my reaction. But it was still stiffer than the second night. Like the second night was a completely different vibe.
Yeah, we'll talk about the second night in a little bit. But but the Monday night show, I still felt they were a little stiff when they did choke. I still felt like they were still a little rigid. Maybe I don't know if they were having technical issues. I know Danny had technical issues both nights. Now I don't know if that was because it was the same song. I don't know if that was staged or not. It might have been, but if it is, it is. The shtick. Why not? It's entertaining. Yeah, but choke, I felt like it was. Look, they did it well. They did a really good job on it. They did. It sounded great, but it still felt stiff. Like they still felt like watching them from a visual standpoint. They still kind of looked like deer in the headlights a little bit. So I don't know. I don't know if that was intent, like they were holding back, or maybe they were just nervous playing in LA. I don't know, but I still felt like it was a little stiff. Fifth track. Now, the fifth track is a song that I have not done a reaction to, and neither have you. A track called Money. Now, I didn't catch it, so I still got to do a reaction to it.
But they did try to get the crowd involved in that song.
I saw a lot of call and response in that, and you're better with vocals than I am. What was the crowd saying?
Get that cold hard cash.
Is that what they were saying?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I didn't understand them.
Please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but from my recollection, because this is over a week later, I think they were saying get that cold hard cash.
Your guess is as good as mine. I couldn't understand anything that anybody was saying. It was very loud and overdriven. So I didn't catch it, unfortunately. I kind of wish I had, but that's okay. But it frees me up to do a reaction to it later, so that's fine. Okay, the next one, track 6 on the show. Now, this is another one of those curveballs. On Monday night, they did, well, not they, Danny came out with an acoustic, sat down and did an acoustic solo version of Crimson Queen.
Which I had never heard before.
You've never heard it. I have. I did a reaction to it, and hearing it being done acoustically was a nice touch. Really nice touch. And I think it was important, and I'm gonna say why in a second here. But from what we were informed of was this is the first time that they performed Crimson Queen during the course of the Mayday tour. That was they pulled that one out specifically for that Monday show. And I think it was a smart move because it seemed to me like after that acoustic performance, all of a sudden everybody loosened up. And all of a sudden the next like 8 songs that they did, man, the live show came alive. I'm so glad that Danny did that acoustic version of Crimson Queen because it was almost like they pushed the reset button. They said, well, let's try again. And they came out of their shells after that.
But they only did it for the Monday night show.
Yeah.
They did not do that on the Tuesday night show.
No, they did not.
So
The Tuesday
another
night
piece
show-
of mix-up,
The Tuesday night show, they did Dust to Dust.
which I like.
I know you like that song. Yeah, they did Dust to Dust on Tuesday night for the 6th track, which is funny because the 7th track on the Monday night show was also Dust to Dust. So they just took Dust to Dust and swapped them basically, which was a good move. It was a really good move. They did some adjusting in here, like on the 6th, 7th, and 8th song. They did some moving and shifting, which was again a great way to encourage people to come to both shows because they will end up being 2 different shows. It's not like going to see the same band 2 nights in a row and having the exact same set list. Now they're smart. They're willing to make those little changes and make those little adjustments in the set list. And it's smart marketing, man. It really is. And it does encourage people to buy 2 tickets.
Well, we saw a lot of the same people the second night that we did the first 2.
That's true. The England crowd. Yes, remember the guys from England?
Yeah, they are hilarious.
We're sitting at the bar, and there's this group of 5. They're in the pictures that we took. I took a picture with all of them.
One of them gave us one of their tickets. That was for me.
That's true. That is very true. And all the guys from England are sitting at the bar, right next to us. But we're at the short end of the bar, and they're at the long end of the bar, taking up the entire bar. It was fun to see them. They had a great time.
Us with our water, giving them cheers to them and their beer.
Yeah, we were drinking water. They offered to buy us beer, and we were like, no,
we have to drive.
We have to drive, so we stuck with water that night. $3 for a bottle of water. Yikes. Anyway.
I'm not upset. You cry about it. Don't be a cheapskate.
Water's free. Anyway, so they did. They did Dust. Wow. They did Dust to Dust on Tuesday night as the 6th song, but they did it as the 7th song on the Monday night show. And then on the Tuesday night show, they did Dull Knives for the 7th song. So things are getting switched up because after Dull Knives on the Tuesday night show, they did Dull Knives as the 8th song on Monday night.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Wow.
And this is when the show really
they kicked it into overdrive.
Even the second night they kicked it into overdrive. But FYI, the second night they also had special guests there they had to go into that.
I know you're anxious to get to that. I know you are. We'll get to it, I promise.
No. It was just not just the special guest. It was also, I think they had their overseers.
We'll talk about that as well.
Yeah.
All right. So on the Monday night show, the 8th song they did Dull Knives, and then on Tuesday night they did Red Hands Never Fade.
Nice little switch up too.
Yeah, another nice little switch up. Dust to Dust, I thought they did an outstanding job both nights. I think both nights those songs sounded good. Dull Knives, both nights sounded really good as well. I will say I think they did a better job on the Monday night show of Dull Knives. I don't know about you, but I felt like Dull Knives on the Monday night show had a little more energy. Now, maybe that's because they were coming out of their shell. Maybe that's just my perception, and maybe that kind of influenced me a little bit. But I feel like Dull Knives on the Monday night show was a little bit better than the Tuesday night show.
Okay.
What do you think?
I was just having a good time.
You were just having a good time. You should have seen her. Man, she was jumping up and down.
He didn't take any more pictures. I told him he wasn't allowed to this time around.
No.
And it was super, super dark with
I tried. I know you guys are probably like, well, you did video footage for the Nightwish show. How come you didn't do it for this? Guys, I did film, believe it or not. The entire Tuesday night show, I tried to do as much filming as possible. The video is fine, but the
audio quality is
all
crapola.
you hear is...
It is so crapola. He played me pieces that I asked him to play, and it was
garbage.
I was like, you can't put this up online. Nope. It is crap.
It is absolute garbage. So I'm sure there are people that, listen, there were tons of people with their phones out filming. So I am sure there are other people who got decent footage, hopefully. Maybe they have a better phone than I do, but yeah, my footage was absolute garbage, guys. I'm sorry. I tried. I absolutely tried.
This is the time that you tell Dave to let me upgrade his phone, because he won't.
My phone works just fine. It's there's nothing wrong with it. No, I don't. My phone works just fine. Look, it makes phone calls, right? All I needed to do. Okay, so Red Hands Never Fade was interesting on the second night. It was interesting to hear them pull that one out too. Wasn't expecting that. But they did a good job on it though.
Still, sound quality was not great. So
yeah.
I could still do a reaction to it.
You can.
Yeah.
You absolutely can. Okay, now from here on out, the tracks 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, the songs were the exact same. So we don't need to worry about splitting up nights anymore. So the 9th track they did after that, they did this track both nights, was Disciple. So, what'd you think of Disciple?
It was good.
It was good?
It was good.
You liked it?
It was good.
I know you still didn't hear full quality, but you liked the energy.
The entire energy for that, for the second night was like 5 to 10 times better than the first night.
I agree.
It's still the sound quality, and apparently where I was sitting was not the best place to get the best sound, but it was the only place I could get where I could sit down.
Yeah. We did the best we could. But I think they did a really good job with Disciple. I will agree the second night it felt like they were a little more hyped up, a little more pumped up, and I know why. We'll talk about that later. No, but Disciple did a nice job. Narcissista, that's a fun song.
Oh, I sung along both nights with that one.
That's a fun one.
Both nights, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that because a lot of people know that song very, very well. It's also, is it an older song? I think it's a newer song.
Yes, no, Narcissista is an older song.
Okay, but like everybody knew it. Everybody was singing along to it.
Narcissista is one of those songs that it's important to the Warning and to the Warning Army. Basically, do you know the story behind that song?
No, you never.
Okay, the story behind that song, for what I was reading in the comments, is they were getting a lot of flack from the Mexican people for not singing songs in Spanish. All their songs were in English, and they were getting some flack for that. Like a lot of people that were living in Mexico, they were really kind of coming down on them for, you know, not respecting their tradition and their ways and the language. So they wrote that song as basically a great big double middle finger salute to all of their
Oh, it was a
critics.
clapback. Got it.
Basically, yes.
Because
calling them narcissists.
Yep. Because I was like, I know what that means in Spanish, but I don't know what the whole song.
Well, that's what it means. It's basically the big double finger salute to those people who are coming down on them for that, which I applaud.
Yes.
Now, who can argue with that?
Reverend!
You do the same thing when people clap back at you.
Absolutely. I got no issue with that whatsoever. Now, track 11, 11th song of the night. Okay, here we go. This is where they pulled out the one that is really being pushed right now. Enter Sandman. So this was their cover of the Metallica tune, Enter Sandman.
Okay, this one's mine. So
you want to take the lead on this one?
This one I'm taking the lead
Fine,
on.
take the lead.
Okay.
I hate this song. Listen, I hate the song itself. It's not the girls' rendition. I like what the girls did with it. It was a great original take. It's Enter Sandman, and I'm so sick and tired of hearing that
And he's
song.
not a big Metallica fan.
No,
so,
I am a big Metallica fan of old Metallica. You know.
Well, but not new Metallica.
Well, there's some new Metallica songs I've done on the channel. Actually, I've really enjoyed a few. I haven't
Remember,
done many.
I don't watch your reactions, so I have no idea what you do on a daily basis.
You don't care what I do.
I care what he does. I don't have time
Yeah,
to
that's true.
babysit my husband.
Yes.
He is a big boy.
Okay.
He can do it himself. So,
Yes, so take the lead on this. Go for
okay.
it.
So, personally, like I said, we both together did a reaction to Enter Sandman with Alicia Cara. First night was fantastic. I sung along. I know the words. It's typical 90s Metallica, but they did their awesome twist on it. Oh. Second night, they decided to pull out the big guns, and Alicia Cara herself jumped on stage and sung with them. You should have heard the pop from the audience, me included.
That's what a pop smells like. Take a bow.
Who literally, my voice was shot the next morning.
You what?
Oh God, I was screaming
You
my
were
head off.
screaming.
Oh,
when she
I
came
was
out.
not because it was her, but the fact that it was just the energy and the pop, and you couldn't help it. You could not help but get
And it
fully immersed into the entire situation.
and it surprised everybody. It was a shock because they had gone through the whole tour without her, and then for this one show, that one Tuesday night show, they flew her out and brought her on stage, and that's. But I'll talk about why in a little bit.
But
yeah,
all the muckety mucks from the record label
we'll
were
talk
there.
about that. We'll talk about that later. So the performances of the song. What did you think? Both nights?
Second night was way better
Well,
because of the extra
Right.
energy being on the fact, like I said, the audience just became fully immersive even more than they were the first night because of that.
Because of the surprise.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I agree. It was a nice surprise. It was a very pleasant surprise to see that happen, and the fact that we were there that made it extra special. We got to see it firsthand, so that was really, really cool. 12th song of the set was Survive. What'd you think?
Like I said, the feedback was horrible, but I could sing that one because I've done a reaction to Survive.
Yes.
And it, like I said, the second night, Danny was exhausted. You could see by the time Enter Sandman hit, Danny, like the first night she wasn't as she was dripping with sweat the second night. I mean, literally she was so
done.
Her hair, her beautiful like feather cut hair went limp.
Yeah,
Because it was drenched.
It was drenched.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me break it very simple. My thoughts on this. The last three songs officially on the set list were Survive, When I'm Alone, and Martirio. Now, if it had been me, I would have switched Martirio and Survive. I think Survive would have been a much better quote-unquote closer. Now, the reason I'm putting that in quotes is they did an encore, but a planned encore, obviously, but for the actual set list and to make it the last song, I think Survive would have been a better pick personally. Now there was nothing wrong with Martirio. There was nothing wrong with that song being done as a closer. I'm just saying between those two songs, I think Survive is a stronger closer. But then again, like I said, it wasn't the actual last song. They had their encore. And their encore I thought was perfect. It was a perfect one
Evolve.
to do for an encore. Yeah, Evolve was a perfect encore. So Survive, I thought they did a really good job. When I'm Alone, also really nice job. Martirio, I think they did a fine job. I just don't think Martirio has the power that Survive has to end.
No oompa.
Yeah, it had no oomph. You know, it was good. It was a good solid ending, but not as good as I think Survive could have been. But they did a great job on all three of those songs. Bing Bop Boop knocked them out of the park, and then they did the classic, thank you, good night, and they left, quote unquote left. And you know how this goes. We all make a bunch of noise, and then they come back. You guys want one more? Yeah, of course we want one more. No, you know what? We don't want one more. We're just yelling to stretch our lungs out.
Yes! Jesus H. Goddamn Christ!
Of course we want one more. And they gave it to us with Evolve. What'd you think of Evolve? Yeah.
Yes, and yes.
Yes.
I love that song. I think that was a great encore. I'm
That was
so
the first
glad.
time I'm hearing it. The Monday Night Show. I hadn't done Evolve.
You haven't done Evolve?
No.
I thought you had.
No, I've done Z, Survive, and then we did the 3 reaction, which was Enter Sandman, Materio,
And Dull Knives.
And Dull Knives. Only done 5. I've only
You haven't
done
done Evolve yet. I gotta show you. You're gonna love the music video. You're the visual when it comes to me. You love music videos. You're gonna love this.
Maybe save this for the fans.
Yeah. No.
Save it for the fans, you guys.
You're gonna have to do it. No, I think Evolve was a great pick for an encore. As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, I think I said during the course of my reaction to this song, if I remember correctly, I said I could see the song being an encore. And yeah, it fit. It absolutely fit. What a great way to end the show. And everybody left happy after hearing that song. Because I know people were kind of looking around like, are they going to do it? Are they going to do Evolve? Yeah, of course they're going to do Evolve. Come on. So yeah, I mean, overall, both shows, nice job on both shows. I will say the Tuesday night show, more energy, and I know why. All the there were a lot of A&R guys there, from what I understand, from what I was hearing in the buzz from people that were there. The entire upper section for the VIP section was all kind of booked out for these A&R guys. Now, here's the interesting thing. They weren't A&R guys for Lava Records. They were for other record labels, other record companies. Now, what is Lava doing? There are some things they could be doing. Lava could be looking to be bought out, possibly, by these other record labels, and these other record labels want to see what they're buying. And right now, from what I understand, the Warning is like the biggest thing on on Lava Records. So that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, maybe they want to get out and they want to sell their product. That could very well be the case. Lava Records could also be looking to offload the Warning, but I don't see that really happening. I don't know why Lava would want to do that, unless, and this is a possibility, Lava may see the potential of the Warning. They may see bigger things for the Warning than they're capable of providing. And they know this. I mean, they're not a big record label. They're not. They're a relatively small record label, and maybe they want bigger things for these girls than they're able to make happen. They're able to provide. So they may be looking to shop the Warning off to another record label, a bigger record label that could do bigger and better things for the girls. All of these things are possible. Now, there's a big difference between possibility and likelihood. They may have just been putting on a showcase to say, to tell these record labels, these are the girls, this is what they're capable of. Put them on your next tour or use them as the opening acts for your next tours or whatever. That's also very possible. And to be honest with you, I think it's the most likely out of the things. With the record label that the girls have with Lava Records, they're not going to get that deal with any other record label. I'm sorry. They're just not. No record label in their right mind is going to give the girls what Lava was willing to give them. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but I'm thinking more than likely what they were doing is they were showcasing the girls off to these other record labels, saying, these are the girls, this is what they're capable of. Book them on your next tour for your big supporting acts. And I'm sure they raised some eyebrows with those A&R guys. I'm positive they did. And that's why for that Tuesday night show, bringing in Alicia Cara was such a big deal, was to really elevate the crowd and get the big crowd response, that big pop that they got. Yeah, I'm sure that made some eyebrows raised from those A&R guys for sure. All right, so let's switch up gears now. We talked about the set list, so now I want to kind of switch gears here now. Let's talk about the girls individually. Let's talk about each girl and what we thought they contributed to the show. Okay. So, starting off with your favorite girl, let's talk about Pow.
Pow!
Yes. So what'd you think of Pow?
I'm kind of sad.
What? Why are you sad?
Because, unfortunately, and this is nothing against Pow, Pow was not on any risers at the Troubadour, so you could not...
Yeah, they didn't have her on a drum riser, did she?
You could not... We saw her high ponytail, the top of her head, the entire show, except when she started to sing Survive, because she kind of stood up as she was drumming.
Yep.
And because she's the lead vocals on that song, you could hear her because she was front woman for that.
Yeah.
Basically, that was my big take. It's like, I was like, put Pow on riser. She's tight. Out of all three of the girls, she's the smallest. Okay? She needs the risers more than anybody else, okay?
That's true. She is the shortest, isn't she?
Not the short. She's fun size, okay?
Fun size.
She's fun size.
She's fun size.
She's fun size.
Dirty word! He said a dirty word!
Yeah, I was a little surprised they didn't have her up on a riser. I don't know why that is. I know the Troubadour has risers. I know they have them. They have portable risers. I don't know why, A, I don't know why the Troubadour didn't offer them. B, I don't know why the Warning didn't ask for them. And C, if they didn't have them for some reason, maybe they got rid of them, why didn't the Warning bring their own risers? I mean, look, SIR is not that far away. They could have gone and rented a drum riser very easily from SIR. So why they didn't have Pow up on a riser, I don't know. That was not a good decision, at least in my opinion. I don't understand why.
And I really love Survive just because Pow's my girl, and I get her singing like 90% of the song.
Yep. Now let's talk about my girl, Little Jean. Yes. Let's talk about Ale. What did you think of her?
I'm also like, she's gotten so damn tall. Oh my god. And
yep. And she's only gonna get taller.
And her style evolution from being like the kind of like looking quiet young thing to she really looks like she's coming into her womanhood, you know? Because they had her dressed a little more adult.
Say what?
Why are you covering your eyes?
I don't want to think about this. I don't want to think about this. I don't want to think of her like that. I don't know.
People grow up.
I know people grow up, but I don't want to look at her like that.
And the fact that they had her in a midriff shirt didn't help.
I don't want to think about it.
Okay.
It's making me uncomfortable. I just really don't want to.
But as we said, the only thing is you could hear Ollie's bass very well.
Oh, the bass was coming through great. I loved it, man. Oh, gosh,
But you couldn't hear her vocals.
Not really, unfortunately. She was kind of getting drowned out.
Performance was great, though. The girls
stage
moved.
energy was great.
Oh, my God. The girls are moving. Like, all that stuff that I spoke about in the videos about them not having that interaction completely disappeared for the live show.
Yeah, we'll talk more in depth about that.
Oh God, that was awesome.
We'll talk more about that in a little bit. From my personal take, I was having a ball watching Ale. Seeing her live watching her in videos is one thing. You know, you watch live video footage and watch her perform on video is one thing, but to actually see her at the front of the stage, doing all the moves, rocking out, putting on a great show, putting on the stage energy, the stage presence,
the lurching,
the deep knee bends, the leg lifts, stuff like that. Being Little Jean, I'm sorry, I know people hate it when I compare, but guys, you need to understand, from me, comparing anybody to Gene Simmons on the basis of stage presence and stage energy, that is like the biggest compliment I could possibly give somebody. I mean, I've never made that comparison to anybody in the music industry other than myself. But I mean, I've never seen anybody come close, and she is phenomenal. That is like the biggest compliment I can give. And she lived up to the expectation that I had for her. She absolutely did. She absolutely delivered. The Monday night show, like I said, the first like 6 songs, everybody was a little stiff, including her. She looked a little, nervous, a little stiff, whatever. But like I said, by the 7th song, she came out of it. When they were done doing Crimson Queen on the acoustic with Danny, when she came back out and started playing in, she was a whole nother woman. She really was. She came out and she took over. And then the Tuesday night show, from the get-go, she was on fire. So, fantastic job from her. Now, let's talk about the dark horse. Let's talk about the one that surprised both you and I.
To all the non-believers.
Let's talk about Danny. Holy smokes.
Yeah, no kidding.
We saw a whole new level of performance from Danny. One of my biggest critiques about Danny has been she's a slave to the mic. And she still is a slave to the mic. She is technically the lead vocalist, so she has to be near the mic. But what I saw from her in these two, it wasn't just the Tuesday night show. She did this on the Monday night show too. Whenever she had more than 8 measures of guitar playing where she wasn't singing, what did she do?
She ran across the other side of the stage.
Shoom! We're not talking walk. We're not talking strut.
Or she jumped with her guitar across the stage.
She would run and jump all the way to the other side of the stage where Ale was, interact with Ale, interact with the fans, run back to the other side of the stage to her mic and get back just in time to do some vocals.
Not only, I will say that.
Marvelous!
Not only would I say her stage energy was like a 9. Okay.
Oh, God, yes.
A 9, her professionalism in regards to everything and how she conducted the audience was up there as well.
Yes. Stage presence was there. Stage energy was there in spades. More than I've ever seen from her. She was, towards the end of the show on Martirio, she's climbing up on top of the
speakers,
the FOH speakers, the fillers. She was not the ones that are hanging, but the ones that are on the floor, the floor speakers.
And she's playing.
She's jumping up, she's climbing up on top of those and playing and looking in the crowd. And we were terrified that maybe she was thinking about taking a dive. And we're like, wait a minute. Hold on. Listen, the Troubadour holds a good number of people, but I don't know if the Troubadour holds that many people. But I mean, on Monday night, I thought at first she was going to jump into the crowd. I was like, oh boy, here we go.
I knew she was smarter than that. He was just on edge.
Wasn't sure. No, she did an outstanding job running around the stage, going over and interacting with Ale, and Ale going over and interacting with her on occasion. All of a sudden, that invisible line that I've been very critical about them in the past, and you have too, that invisible line that kind of separates them, they were constantly crossing that line, especially towards the end of both shows.
What line?
Yeah, exactly. The line disappeared. It was great to see, and I really hope we continue to see that from all 3 girls. Her guitar playing sounded great. Her singing sounded great. But I'm not trying to discredit either of those. She did an outstanding job on both. But what really impressed me about Danny more than anything was she turned her stage show, her stage presence, and her stage energy, and her crowd interaction, and her stage interaction, everything got turned up Spinal Tap style all the way up to 11. No joke.
No.
I was so impressed and proud of her for taking those steps and actually doing the things that I wanted to see from her for the past year and a half. I was so glad to see those things from her. So yeah, impressive from her, definitely. And the stage interaction from all of them was fantastic. Ale coming over, Danny crossing over, switching sides, coming together and rocking out.
My
it was
favorite.
Fun.
My favorite was when Danny got her guitar, she was playing, and she hopped on one leg to the other side of the stage. She did.
Oh, you're right, she did. You're right, she did. She did. That was towards the end of the show.
Yes.
Yes, I remember that. Okay. No, overall, visually, great job. Fantastic job, great showmanship, great way to interact with the crowd when they took the break and she's talking to the crowd, Danny's talking to the crowd, talking about all the people from all the different countries, and wow, people from all over the world were there at the Troubadour both nights. There were people from England, from Denmark, from France, from Canada, Mexico, Germany, you name it, they were there. Romania was in the house even. I couldn't believe that one, Romania. How cool. And then, of course, the good old US of A. Yes, indeed. America! Yes. Anyway, let's wrap this up. I think we've taken enough of the people's time. So, how do you want to evaluate? Do you want to just do your typical thumbs, or do you want to give a score?
No, I'm giving a score.
You're going to give a score.
I'm giving a score.
Okay. Now, this is how we're going to do it, though. Now, okay. Do you want to give a different score to each night, or do you want to combine them together for one? Okay.
I'm gonna do a twofer.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm gonna think about both sides, both shows. I'm gonna combine them together for one score. So, you want to go first? You want to go second?
I always go second.
You want to go second?
It's your show. You can play the pigs if you want.
No, I'm not playing the pig. We got asked about the pigs, by the way.
We gotta name the pigs.
Apparently we have to name the pigs.
You gonna do what?
People in the crowd were like, you know, we hear the pigs. What are their names? And we're like,
I'm naming them
Porgy and Bess.
No, I'm naming them Piggy, Sue, and Jasper.
Piggy, Sue, and Jasper.
Piggy, Sue, and Jasper.
But they are who we thought they were.
You heard it here first, folks. There it is, Piggy, Sue, and Jasper. Okay, I'm taking both shows into account. Now, like I said, the first night, I feel like the first 6 songs, or the first 5 songs, a little stiff, a little unsure, need a little warming up. They did warm up and they came alive. Second show, I thought they were alive from the get-go. Great job musically on all the songs. On a scale of 1 to 10, I am gonna give both shows a combined score of 9.4. Yep, 9.4. You heard me. I didn't stutter. That is the score I feel both shows combined deserve. I would give the Monday night show about 9.3, and I would give the Tuesday night show about 9.5. So add them together, divide them by 2. Do you need a calculator? If you do, don't know what to tell you. But yeah, 9.4, I feel good with that score. What do you think?
I actually would agree with you. I'm gonna write your coattails on this one.
What?
I'm gonna ride your coattails.
Okay.
And here's the
What score?
9.4.
You're gonna what?
Now here's the reason why.
Why?
Let
Okay.
me explain.
Okay.
And this is the topper for me. The
Okay.
topper. And how classy the Warning is. Okay? Dave and I both were not a big fan of the first opening act, okay? At all.
Nope.
Okay? And not one, but both nights, they thanked their opening act.
That's true. You don't see headliners thank and give credit to the opening act very often. That's very true. And I can say this from experience, both as an opening act and as a headliner. You don't see that. Now, it's almost like required that the opening act thank the headliners. I mean, that you want to stay in their good graces. You know what I mean? So, of course, opening act always thanks the headliners, but you never see the headliners thank the opening act. And you're absolutely right about that. They did. They both nights came out and thanked the opening act for being there and being their opening act. You don't see that.
That was pure class. Pure class. I cannot explain it any better.
Yeah, though you're absolutely right.
And I didn't want to forget that detail because it was a big deal because you and I talked about it both nights in the car on the way home.
Yes, we did. And it is definitely a point worth mentioning. Yeah, the girls are definitely a class act. So, we both agree 9.4, huh?
9.4.
All right, you heard it, folks. Both of us, 9.4. We have spoken. All right, well, that's going to do it for our concert review, folks. Hopefully you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully we were able to entertain you. If we were to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then we did our job, and we're so glad we could do it. As we're closing, is there anything you'd like to say?
Thank you for letting me join, and every single one of you that sent both of us tickets, thank you. We are
Thank you so much,
very
guys.
grateful.
I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't know if we were going to go because they were sold out. And people stepped up big time and gave us tickets. And I say gave. We offered to pay. We did. We made the offer. I will pay you for these tickets. And you guys, beyond generous, so gracious, said, no, this one's on us. We want you to enjoy the Warning. We want you to see them live. So the tickets are on us. Man, you guys, class acts. All of you. Every single one of you. And for those of you that offered us tickets that we didn't take, it's nothing personal. We didn't need them at that point. So we hope you guys did something with those tickets, either gave them to someone else or got your money back, one of the two, whatever you did. But we had in total, we had about 12 tickets offered to us. 12 tickets, guys. That's huge. We only needed 4. So thank you again, everybody that donated tickets to us and even offered to us. Thank you so much, guys. Seriously. We had a blast. We look forward to seeing them again in the near future. And when the next time they come out our way, we're going to definitely make it a point to go out there, see them again, and hopefully get a chance to meet even more of you next time.
That's the truth.
We had a blast.
We did. We absolutely had a blast. So until next time, guys, this is David Heretic and Mrs. Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous.
And support each other.
Okay. Later. Peace.